So, here we are on the allotment. Sun's shining and the place is a mess. This is our two plots. Obviously, as you can see at the moment, need quite a bit of work. This is plot 1. This was our second plot. The shed was existing when we took the place over, but we built the arbour to support the grapevine, which is now spread to cover the whole thing. The beds at the front have goji berries, 2 goji berry trees which are 2 years old now, just starting to grow properly. Then the greenhouse behind which is the strawberries. And the front bed here has the jewel plum and some lavender in it. And this is plot 2. This was our first plot. This was 8 foot deep in weeds when we took it over. Not far off that now. Pat has offered to help today, which is really good of her. She's taking down the canes for us. At the back is the apiary 1, and in the far corner, behind the greenhouse, is apiary 2, the second apiary we built, next to the demolished polytunnel. So this is the shed and the arbour we built the year before last. The grapevine was in the plot when we first got here and had grown right across the front of the shed, so we built the arbour to support it. We've also had hanging baskets of tomatoes on there, little cherry ones which give us quite a good crop. In front of that this year are 2 beds of broad beans, that's what's under the bottle crotches, and then in front of that are some marigold, some marjoram and 2 small goji berry trees. The next bed across has a jewel plum, some flowers and some lavender which the bees absolutely love. Underneath the arbour is where we usually sit to have a brew. It's a lovely space. In the summer when the grapes are growing, it's lovely and shaded, nice and cool, and we usually use the twig kettle under there. The 2 supports at the front of the arbour have clematis growing up them, which are absolutely gorgeous once they start to flower. Behind the greenhouse on plot 1 is the strawberry bed. This is our main strawberry bed. It's already been cleared once this year, and as you can see there are some flowers already on there. Behind that are 3 blueberry bushes, needs weeding at the moment, and then a small herb bed. Behind that we've got the overwintering onions from set, with a gala apple tree behind, some flowers underneath, and then another cooking apple tree on that side. The leeks that have overwintered, that'll be coming out and going into soup very shortly, and then another bed of overwintering onions. These are spring sown onions. Behind that are 2 pear trees which last year gave us somewhere in the region of about 30 pounds of fruit. At the back against the fence are the compost bins. The next 2 beds are main crop spuds, and these actually were left in from last year. A little bit of frost damage at the moment, but I'm sure they'll come back. And then behind that is an apple tree, and then a plum tree next to that. This one hasn't given us much fruit as yet, but after a hard prune last year, hopefully we'll get something off it this year. And then this end bed will have probably some more beans in it. Behind that is the apiary. Don't know if you can hear the buzzing, the bees. So this is apiary 2. This is our second apiary. Looking through the screening you can see the 4 hives that are in there at the moment. If I lift the camera up you should be able to see the bees. They're very, very busy today, and you can probably hear them buzzing as well. The front 2 hives are Smiths, the back 2 hives are Nationals. And if we look up into the sky, I don't know if you can see them or not, lots and lots and lots of bees flying past. Very, very busy. Next to the apiary is our polytunnel, which unfortunately seems to have collapsed at the moment. And the hedges are a mix of elder and hawthorn. We usually get enough elder berries and elder flowers to make wine with. Obviously the polytunnel needs a lot of sorting out at the moment. Dividing the two plots is the raspberry fedge, which needs tying back again at the moment. And in front of that are the beds that this year will have spuds in. Obviously a lot of clearing needed on these at the moment. This is my project for today, to clear this bed and to get the second early spuds into there. Been fortunate that Pat and Colin, whose plots are looking fantastic, I'll show you a picture of those in a minute, have offered to help us today to actually try and get things sorted. Lee was supposed to be on the plot today, but he's been called into work unexpectedly. But it means he should be back by about 4 o'clock, and hopefully then I can get him to do some more digging. This bed's the one that Colin's been working on. This will have main crop spuds in it. The bed behind that is the one that I've just planted the first early spuds in. The bed beyond that, where the water attachment is, will be courgettes, as will the one in front of that. Moving on to plot 2, which was our first plot, the one that was covered in 8 foot of weeds. There's a small strawberry bed at the end of the fedge, and then these beds here had the brassicas in last year. As you can see, there's still some sprouts to harvest. This one had cabbages, very tasty, very nice, and then the next one had collies and more cabbage, and the one next to the greenhouse is our salad bed. These all still need to be cleared and sorted out. The greenhouse at the front of plot 2 is the one that we got from had to go and dismantle it and bring it here and then put it back up. Cost us nothing, and it's 10 foot by 8 foot. Really good greenhouse, that one. So looking down plot 2 from the front, first couple of beds had onions and garlic in. The one to the right has the overwintering garlic in. The one to the left this year will have brassicas, as will the ones behind, which obviously need a lot of clearing. On this side of the plot we have the pre-existing compost bin, which obviously needs a bit of sorting out, behind which is the wildlife pond, and then a run of beds which last year had beans in. Pat's moved the canes for me today. They will be sweet corn and squash, the whole run. So usually about 120 sweet corn plants and about 50 or 60 pumpkin and squash plants. Right at the back, beyond the bamboo and next to the rhubarb, is apiary 1. This is the first apiary built, which has 3 hives in at the moment. And this is our pond and wildlife area. Very wild at the moment, it needs a lot of sorting out. I'll try and zoom in on the pond so you can see the bees taking the water to take back to the hives, and also the tadpoles. First year we were here, there was about 40 toads and frogs in here when it was mating season, and now obviously you can see all the movement in the water is the tadpoles. This bed in the middle of plot 2 is our comfrey bed. Great for making comfrey tea and also for accelerating the compost. As you can see, it's beginning to grow now. Unfortunately, Fred, the scarecrow, needs some serious work. Don't know what he's been drinking, but it's obviously been good stuff. Beyond that, a compost bin. The 2 bins that we use for carrots, which give us a great crop and stop any carrot root fly. The fedge, and then at the back, the apiary. This bed with the bamboo in is half Jerusalem artichokes. These are fantastic crop that you dig up in late winter, usually about December. Fantastic roasted and absolutely gorgeous chips. Unfortunately, they do have one side effect, which is why they are nicknamed Jerusalem fartichokes. So, apiary 1, our first apiary. 3 hives in there at the moment, and as you can hear it's busy and lots and lots of bees flying past. Don't know if you can see them on the video or not. In front of apiary 1 are the 6 crowns of rhubarb. These give us a great crop each year, some of which we use for making rhubarb crumble and pies, some of which actually makes a fantastic rosé wine. Last year's was more like a champagne, absolutely gorgeous. So, apiary 1, 3 beehives, all of which, as you can hear, are busy. I'll try and get you a shot of the front of each of them. Don't know how successful that was because I was being buzzed and couldn't see where I was. Hopefully the next time we actually inspect the bees I'll be able to get some pictures from inside the apiary. So looking back down, plot 2. Our first plot, and at the moment sadly in need of a lot of work. Hope you enjoyed the video. First chance to have a proper walk around the plot with the new camera. Hopefully in the next month or so it'll all be clear and planted up and you'll be able to see what we're actually growing, and then the only other job after that is to dig out and rebark all the plot paths. I'll give you a quick tour of Pat and Colin's plot and show you what ours used to look like in terms of the paths. Hopefully it will soon be like that as well. So Pat and Colin's plots, they've got 2 together. As you can see, very tidy, very neat, all the paths organised, plenty of stuff actually growing. Pat and Colin, a little bit older than ourselves, but great friends. They're both retired, they have the time to spend on the plot. I wish we had as much time as them. Really good friends. They also are co-beekeepers with us, so the 4 of us look after the bees together. Pat and Colin have also just taken over the National Trust Bee unit at Dunham and have recently done their BBKA Beekeepers certification. The next plot over to them is Dave, who's gone with the raised beds. He's had the plot for 3 years now, really coming on, really get some good crops, and obviously he's built a great big arbour, really chunky thing. He's got 4 grapevines growing up the corners, which hopefully this year will be able to give him some grapes. He said that the inspiration for his arbour was the one that we built, which isn't quite as chunky as this, but it does the job. Anyway, that's it for today. I may take some more video later, once I've done some more clearing. Hopefully then you'll be able to see that things are moving on the plot and we're beginning to get where we need to be. Okay, thanks for watching, take care, bye bye. So, the end of a long day. The end bed is about 1/3 dug. This bed's been totally dug over. I've done those 2. Colin's done 2/3 of this bed, which is really good of him. The next bed has got the first early spuds in it, and 2 other beds have been worked. After coming back from work, Lee cleared the salad bed, ready for planting some salad in. And Pat has cleared about half of this big bed at the back, which is where the sweet corn and the squashes are going. That's fantastic work, thanks very much to the pair of them. Other than that, I've also tied back the fedge. Anything that's not tied in now needs to come out. It's too big. Really don't like to throw away plants just because they're in the wrong place, but we need to have the walkway clear so we can get to the apiary. I also sorted out the supports for the goji berries. Bit Heath Robinson, but at least the goji berry is now supported. That's the bigger one of the 2 and the smaller one of the 2. So we've made some progress, still a long way to go. Thanks for watching, bye.